government, policies, education, economy, social development, amongst others.
We're happy to announce today that both the federal government and the organized labor have agreed on an increase on the 62,000 naira minimum wage.
Join
Ayodeji Ajishope
and
Adedamola Lafenwa
on from the Dailies every weekday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 FM as they dive into the headlines with in-depth analysis and feedback from you on different stories from the national dailies. Start your day by gaining fresh perspectives, uncovering the story behind the story, and join the conversation. Because your voice matters. From the dailies, the conversation never stops.
It's another fresh start, the first working day of the week, day number 8 in the month of September 2025. My name is Adedamola Lafenwa. The station is Solutions 939 FM, and the program is From the Dailies, where we get to take you through the front page stories of different newspapers. I have Comrade Ayodeji Ajishope live in the studio this beautiful Monday morning. Good morning to you, Comrade Ayodeji Ajishope.
Yes, a good morning to you, my dear comrade brother. And of course, to the people out there, it's another Monday morning. And I tell you, it's a beautiful one. The sun is coming out.
Okay, the sun is coming out. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Okay, looking at the papers this morning, looking at the Vanguard newspaper, the front page, it says Dangote Nupeng face off. FG moves to avert nationwide strike. And riders summons feuding parties to emergency meeting today. Oil workers disown direct trucking drivers association. Say body creation of union busters. Oil workers disown direct trucking drivers association.
It's just like Konwa and us, you remember?
Yeah, Konwa and us. Okay, say body creation of union busters. NLC rallies state councils industrial unions for showdown. Falana ask FG to call Dangote to order. Okay, moving away from that, so much from that sector, which we'll talk about in the course of the program. NLC, FG workers demand minimum wage review. UN Atiku Obi Undume rage over killing of 63 in Borno, demand probe. Away from the Vanguard newspaper, looking at the front page of the Punch newspaper, Accountant General plots to preempt Supreme Court, set to pay Osun LD funds to court-sacked APC chairman, councillors. Nalge cries out. Okay, this is coming from Osun State. Nupeng versus Dangote. Union insists on strike, meets FG, others today. And riders, Labour Minister begs union to shelve industrial action. Marketers vow to shut filling stations and back Nupeng. I noticed most of the filling stations I saw on my way to work this morning under lock and key. Some of them under lock and key.
It depends where your interest lies.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Natasha to resume Senate after London trip. Lawyer, page 14 of the Punch, has that story. Naira strengthens to 1,514 naira to a dollar, nears 5-month high. Okay, moving to another paper now. I have this one coming on the Platform Times. Nigeria risks becoming hub for weaponized disinformation report. And still on that front page of that paper, 70,000 naira minimum wage no longer sustainable, NLC tells FG. US deports over 2,300 Nigerians, 3,690 more await forced removal. Still looking at the front page of the Platform Times, it says Ipman disowns a Western Zone strike over Dangote refinery fuel distribution. Away from that particular paper.
That?
You said what?
Did you hear that? Independent petroleum marketers.
Yeah, disowning themselves for that.
You
Okay, now moving to the Daily Independent now. Stakeholders worry over exploitative single-use textbooks in Nigerian schools. Would like to talk about this in the course of the program. Another one, opposition asks APC. Opposition asks APC. Let me look for that paper again. I think I lost the paper. Let me try to look for it again. Okay, now looking at the paper now, opposition asks APC to stop attacks on members. Says police should not turn into armed wing of APC. Page 29. As of that story, Obi urges FG to declare full war on insecurity. Because of our time, let me move to the Guardian newspaper now. National Grid faces 5.6 trillion naira revenue loss as premium customers exit. Okay, premium customers. I read a particular report on Saturday.
You see that
people on band A are beginning to opt out of that band A.
Look, I mean, this is one of the legacies of the Buhari administration. There may not be many, but the Electricity Act has conferred, the ability on the private sector. If you have the funds and the technical know-how, go ahead. Look at Aba Electricity. I mean, that Aba Electricity is well motivated and promoted by Professor Bartonanji. Have you forgotten him? He was a power minister, but the way he was chatting it, towards the private enterprise, people got him out under Obasanjo. And he has gone to demonstrate it privately.
Okay, still talking about the stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Parents groan as schools resume. Imo outlaws some practices. Insecurity, northern leaders demand state of emergency, sack of service chiefs. Army neutralizes 4 terrorists, arrest 64 suspects in nationwide operations. And another one, Dangote Nupeng face-off. FG urges caution. Showore, CSOs push back as DSS asks X to delete anti-Tinubu tweet. Okay. Still on from the Dailies and Solutions and 93.9 FM. Comrade, let's go into the stories one after the other now. Starting with the Dangote Nupeng face-off. FG moves to avert nationwide strike. Now, what is the basis or what is the cost of this tussle between Dangote and Nupeng?
Well, the tanker driver, there is Nupeng, and the tanker drivers are under Nupeng. You will recall the role they played during the June 12th saga. And you would also recall that they made things almost impossible. So much so that the government had to go and procure tankers under Abacha to distribute, because they had stake in at least the major IOCs. So Dangote has a refinery that's upstream. So he wants to get involved in the downstream too, because you will also recall when that refinery was going to come on stream, it had a lot of challenges from the institutional authorities. You will recall that at a point in time, they are no longer the DPR, they are the midstream regulators now. That the upstream and midstream, that they even told us at a point in time that Dangote did not have license.
Yes.
And people were shocked. Dangote did not have license. How come you allowed him to build to the point of rolling off, and the frustrations, non-availability of crude oil, and all of that. So the man says, see, make a Google, be here and there. Look, if anything happens now, and they say, we are not lifting your crude, tanker drivers, associated tanker drivers. That's, who distributes the fuel? It is the tanker
drivers, yes.
Some people own those trucks. Some have 10, some have 20. In the days of Chachangi, before they went to the air, they had hundreds.
Okay.
Even as we speak, Dangote has probably up to 20,000 in some of his other industries. In flour, in cement, in all of it, they operate. So here too, let's take charge of our distribution. Let's put our distribution. Of course, it's a subsector on its own in industry. Distributorship. You won't hear Nigerian breweries or some other companies, do the distribution directly. That's a subset of the industry, but they want to take care and take hold of their destiny. They know it's a dog eat dog terrain. So, and if you have the muscle, and if you can take the risk, you have calculated your risk. So they're delivering. They're going to be delivering to petrol stations with their. So they cut off they cut off these guys, the PTD, petrol tanker drivers, and the owners of those trucks.
Okay.
And that can substantially put them out
of work,
of business. Yeah. So everybody's fighting for his stuff, just like I said earlier.
Okay. So, but do we blame Dangote for opting for other means, since he felt that they were trying to hold him to ransom?
No law of the land. Petroleum Industries Act, everything that governs the petroleum industry is midstream, downstream, upstream. No law forbids it.
But what will be the aftermath should the no-paying people that threaten a nationwide strike show down tools?
Well, you will see that there's another group, apart from the petrol tanker drivers, and they call them the direct truckers.
Direct Trucking Drivers Association.
So that's a counterweight. And you also saw IPMAN, Independent Petrol Marketers Association.
Disowning themselves.
The Western Zone.
The Western Zone.
Because they are the biggest beneficiaries of the Dangote refinery. They are the nearest. So they are not going to go with anybody that says they want to sabotage that.
Well, Femi Falana is saying here that the federal government should call Dangote to order.
What does it mean? What does it mean? Look, there are agencies that govern.
Saying that Dangote is trying to create a counter association to no paying to favor his own business.
Why in business? As long as you're not running foul of the law, you do the needful. The man has enough muscle. Look, he has done it. He moves his cement. You see, you see those trucks around. He moves his cement and he distributes flour and all of that in the other areas too. So he wants to do the same or one day they will just say, look, we are not going to lift your product. And that will be all. And then they will be, and of course, they produce every moment. And then storage will fill. And then the man will be forced to.
And distribution has to be made.
Distribution has to be made. So the man is taking care and taking charge of his destiny.
His destiny.
Yes. It might not be, from a moral point of view, it might be a challenge, but as long as they're not breaching any law.
Now, do you feel that this pending nationwide strike, though the federal government has summoned both parties to a meeting, why is it that anytime we hear this kind of news, you see filling stations on the lock and key immediately?
Well,
there were filling stations I saw yesterday still dispensing fuel till late in the night, till close down. And this, in fact, I saw this story around 2 a.m. this morning, and when I saw it, I knew that this morning, virtually all the filling stations.
I tried to drive into a petrol gas station where I normally, they just ignored me.
So why do they always? Why this?
It's a market reaction. It's just like the markets, the stock exchange reacts.
What are they expecting?
What are they expecting? Well,
they have stock now, but they are claiming they do not have. They are putting their stations on the lock and key.
Yes, they are watching and waiting. It's a reaction, market reaction. It happens on the stock exchange too. You will see that, just like I was telling you, that central bank is considering reduction in interest rates. What is going around, and that is confidence building. You understand? And the markets will react to that. The stock exchange will, if you go and check the stock exchange when it opens today, or if that news was there already on Friday, the stock market too will react to that, either positively or negatively. It depends on the news and it impacts. So that's why the people are the owners of the stations are holding on to see how this pans out.
Will play out.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving to other stories now, let's take a look at this tussle between the Osun State government and the local government there. I mean, this has been on since for about over 2 months or thereabout now. Accountant General plots to preempt Supreme Court set to pay Osun LD funds to court sacked APC chairman.
How do they do that?
What is the beginning of this crisis?
Well,
Osun State regarding the LG local government and the funds.
The usual thing is that, let me start from the bad end, the very bad one. I'm departing office as governor. I've either lost a re-election or completing my
tenure,
two terms of 8 years. So 2 weeks to my departure, I will organize the election.
Talk to local government. That has been the norm. It has been the norm to some governors, to some states.
And then as soon as the next one comes, it dissolves them too. And appoints his own.
Why would a governor that served for 8 years decide not to conduct a local government election and wait until a few weeks to the end of the expiration of his tenure?
We have seen it happen.
Is it not to cause trouble for the coming or foment trouble for the incoming administration?
Because they know that the moment in the eyes of the law, elections have been conducted, unless you conduct election illegally.
We had the same issue in River State too.
Well, we had the same thing in Oyo
State,
twice. So that entanglement, then they were getting away with it. It started in 2002, and then everybody was getting away with it until people challenged them in the court, and then the Supreme Court said emphatically that it is unconstitutional. There must be no gap, and that anybody who does not run democratically elected local government is infringing on the Constitution. And the penalty for that is that the funds for those local governments will not be released.
Okay.
So, but in the implementation of that, it is now, people are not believing or thinking that it is looking like political weapon. That it is now being weaponized politically. So that if you are in opposition at the state and you have any challenge with the local government, they will just weaponize it. But I don't think, you see, can the Attorney General, and the Accountant General pay those APC guys? You cannot pay into their personal accounts. You don't pay government money into personal accounts.
Are there vacuums in local governments in Osun State as we speak now? Because the government is saying that the APC chairman have been sacked by court.
Well, actually, that was a High Court pronouncement in that
okay.
regard. You understand? So, but the thing is still before the, I think it's still before the court. So, and then the interpretation, everybody is interpreting as where his interest
As it
lies.
suits them.
But let us see how this pans out.
Okay. Now, a story on the front page of the Punch newspaper, it says lending rates may fall as inflation eases CBN. Now, I saw it in one of the papers earlier today saying that manufacturers are beginning to opt for other alternatives when it comes to obtaining loans because they couldn't afford the interest rates of banks.
Yeah.
But now we have the CBN coming, which we may consider as good news, saying that lending rates may fall as inflation eases. Is it a way to woo the manufacturers that are already looking for other alternatives elsewhere, or truly inflation is easing?
Well, believe you me, I think these guys can afford to thump their. You know, they kept on saying, and we kept on asking, all these figures that you are quoting, it doesn't tally with the reality on the ground. But I think they couldn't get their message across. It took an Okonjo-Iweala to come and establish, you know, that fact. And like people were not looking before, people started seeing it. So, you know, we had inflation, at a point in time we had galloping inflation. And believe you me, you buy something today and you go back the following day and the price is gone up. And the day after another, that was really, 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 really crazy. So, and stability is key, you know, when it comes to investment. And you also notice that 2 trillion naira was shared in the FAC in this last month. That states and local governments are awash with liquidity. And when they are awash with liquidity, they went back on contracts. You know, construction and the construction industry is a big measure of, you know, economic activity. And when there is liquidity, the market, the open market, you know, will thrive. And I'm sure the stock exchange too is responding to that, you know, that information. And that will woo more investment into the economy. Certainly. But it's still not yet to huru. No, not yet.
Okay. The newspapers are quite loaded this Monday morning. That's why we are doing it one after the other. We need to address a lot of stories this morning. Now, on the front page of the Daily Independent, now on the cap headline here, one of the cap headlines, it says Serap sues RMAFC over planned pay rise for political office holders. Now, a lot of people have been saying that why the need for rise in the pay of political office holders, making it more attractive, because there have been complaints from different sectors over the years that these people are earning what you can call jumbo pays compared to the national minimum wage, which workers are already saying that, okay, maybe we should put the stories together. NLC is saying now that this 70,000 naira that they agreed with federal government is no longer sustainable.
Well, you see, NLC can be very funny, you know. Some governors are doing way more than, Oyo is doing 80. Imo said, in fact, Edo started long before they started with 80, you know, in the days of Obaseki. So, Oyo is doing 80. Of course, Lagos is silently doing its own. It can't be less than 100. You know, Rivers is there. And, okay. So, one state did 104. Uzodima
open here. I was going to say, I heard it.
So, people are now saying, everywhere is awash without anybody asking, without anybody threatening to go on strike. Some states are doing this, So, I mean, that means there's enough liquidity. You don't talk about liquidity. 2 trillion was shared. In the days of Buhari, there was a period 750 billion was shared at FARC, and that was what just they had. So, 2 trillion was shared. And by January, when all the four tax, this administration of tax laws come into effect, you can be sure of even way more liquidity. And all of this will be pumped back into the economy and to stimulate it. And then, But talking about the political office holder, okay, what is the salary of the president? 1.5 million. But check out his allowances. It's just a code per night. Despite the fact that he is working, sleeping, and eating at the expense of Nigeria. I mean, the extra code is way more. You see, we're not addressing the perks of office. You understand? It is the salaries that they earn are not fantastic. They're not fantastic. 1.5 million for the president. His responsibilities are way more than that. Yes. But he pays for nothing. No, nobody does that. Look, if you are the American president, you are elected, and you are coming to the White House, they tell you this is the budget for innovation. Anything in excess of that, you will pay from your pocket. It is $100,000 for renovation when the president comes into the White House. Anything you want to do in excess of that, you pay from your pocket. You pay for the food you eat.
As a U.S. president,
you pay for the food you eat. I mean, you are paid. Everything was considered and added together to arrive at the your pay. So, I mean, you feed yourself, you feed your family, and whatever. So, the perks of office are damn too many and too hefty. My only concern is that when these people serve us in the National Assembly, some for 4 years, and you're doing severance pay. Severance pay for what? For what? I mean, all the perks of office. I mean, no member of the House of Reps takes anything less than 15 million as we speak in terms of additionals. So when you now increase the basic and all of that, that is where the trouble is. But Nigerians should pay attention. Nigerians, and I keep telling us, look, before you know it, they will quickly run that thing through and bam, just like Kama Act. How could they have run that Kama Act through the National Assembly? And it was only after it was passed into law that we had an uproar. So people we are not practicing the kind of democracy that we copied from the United States, that we tend to say we copied from the United States. There are lobby groups in Washington on the Capitol watching everything of interest to them. So Nigerians, the civil society organizations, I know it's going to be expensive, but the price to pay for liberty is eternal vigilance. Yes, we have to be vigilant.
Okay. It's 10 o'clock on Solutions at 93.9 FM. Looking at the papers this Monday morning. Another story I'd like us to look at, this one has to do with all parents, especially if they have their kids, their children in public nursery, primary or secondary school and private schools as well. Now, I want to join two headlines together now. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, it says, parents groan as schools resume. Imo outlaws some practices. That's on the Guardian newspaper. And on Daily Independent, stakeholders worry over exploitative single-use textbooks in Nigerian schools. Now, let's start with this. I remember when we were in school, you can bear me witness too, the textbooks that our elder ones used, we were still able to use them. I remember when I got to SS1, I started doing biology, I used the same textbooks my mother and her siblings used probably in the 50s and in the 60s. But now it is not the same thing here. Now you see that, I like the way they put it here, as Daily Independent put it, over exploitative single use. Now what do you have? You have a textbook that you have to use it, just one student has to use it. So your younger ones can no longer use this.
Please, for the benefit of the listeners, how come it's still the same text the class is using?
The same text. That's how I'm trying to
They will
explain
now,
now.
the school will now say another person cannot use it.
Because now
Workbook.
workbook, because then we used to have separate workbooks and textbooks, but now they are doing the workings inside the main textbook. So once a student has used it, the younger ones coming after. I saw one video online where a woman was complaining that the same set of textbooks she's been buying for the past 4 years is the same thing she's been asked to buy again, because the younger, I mean the older ones, the older kids she had rather, used the same set of textbooks.
Yeah.
Every year, the younger ones can no longer use that same
Because
textbook.
workbooks are
So why
a part
is
of
this
those textbooks.
Why is this thriving these days?
Well, we should ask the regulators, because there are regulators. Government regulates education. So, and there are directorates. There is directorate of schools. And under that directorate, you have, very directorate of schools for primary, for secondary, and all of that. So, we should ask the regulators, how did they, have they not noticed this? Have they not seen this? Don't you think this is unethical?
Some people
Because
say that probably the schools are trying to enrich the publishers.
it's mutually beneficial to the publishers and to the school owners. You understand? If your pupils, all pupils, at resumption of every session, must all buy books, that's mutually beneficial to the publishers and even to the authors. You understand? Because the authors earn on every copy sold. So it's like a cartel. The authors, the publishers, and the schools. That's a cartel. But what are the regulators doing? Have they not noticed? Have they not heard? It's all over the place. This is the first time I'm hearing it. I've been hearing it for quite a while now.
Okay, this is not the first time you're hearing it.
No.
Okay.
So, what are the regulators doing? It is looking unethical.
Because it's like over exploiting.
It is looking unethical. It is looking unethical. Why must you insert those workbooks in the texts? Why must you? Why must they come together?
And these books let me remind you that these books don't come cheap now.
No, they don't come cheap.
They are
And
very
the fact
expensive
is,
now.
Why now match workbooks and the text? It wasn't like that before. So why? We have to take that to the regulators.
And another one, Imo government seems to be doing fine. Imo schools resume Monday as a government bans unauthorized levy. The Imo State government has issued a strong warning to all schools in Imo State to stop the act of getting unauthorized levies from
Public schools?
public and private now.
No, how are you going to say unauthorized levies? What does that mean? That's the one they call.
I remember when the session was closed in July, August. That same Imo State decided that they should stop all this. These schools are they're fond of doing these things now. They were saying they want to do graduation for pupils moving from nursery to primary, and they get money from parents and that. All that nonsense, all these end of the year parties and graduation parties must stop. That they are just exploiting the student. How do you say a student is graduating from nursery to primary? And
I even hear they pay for
they pay for
awards.
they pay not for but they pay for even the gowns.
Yeah, you pay for the gown, sure.
So-
You paid for gowns in university, didn't you?
That's university now.
It's graduation. It's graduation.
So what do you make out of this move?
Honestly, I think the whole thing started from end of year parties. And people, expansion, ideas. It's all about, and the funny thing, the question is, okay, what is education? The whole idea of education is, the pursuit of knowledge. So all these extras, are they still in pursuit of knowledge or in pursuit of something? Again, the regulators.
Now, maybe I should read out what this is. I find this very interesting. There's on the front page of the Guardian newspaper now. Now, let me read it. Let me read that 3 paragraphs now, so that our listeners can understand what Imo State government is doing. All public and private schools in Imo State are set to resume on Monday, September 8th, which is today, for the 2025-2026 academic year, with the state government issuing strict directives to teachers, school administrators, and students. The government has prohibited the schools from demanding pupils and students to submit items such as shovels, hoes, cutlasses, rakes, brooms, mopping sticks, buckets, eye poles, detergents, bottles of Dettol, soap of all kinds, toilet paper, A4 paper, or pay unauthorized levies before being admitted or allowed to sit for examinations across all the 27 local government areas of the state. In addition, the state has abolished the practice of printing and selling textbooks with embedded workbooks, a move aimed at making textbooks reusable by younger siblings and curbing unnecessary expenditure by parents. This is Hope Uzodinma giving hopes.
Yeah, giving hope.
Giving hopes to the parents there.
That's a good one. I don't. You see, isn't it absurd when schools ask pupils to bring shovels?
But some of us did it when we were in secondary
Shovels?
school. No, not shovels, but we brought cutlasses. We were asked to bring.
Oh, you used
cutlasses.
the
O's.
cutlasses.
I remember my
You
GSS
used
one
it.
then.
Did you have a school farm?
Yes, but I did. We
And
did.
so I mean, and then you keep the school compound clean.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they didn't take them from you, did they? Did they? Maybe you took it back home.
No, we did it. We submitted them.
You submitted
We
them?
We submitted them.
But maybe you use it on the farm and all of that. So, but all these things sound untidy. But you know, even sometimes it is not the schools; it is the teachers. You know.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, everybody's. We all love gaming the system. You from your location, you game the system. You understand? That's what people are doing. Everybody is using. The police is using their own location to.
Because when I saw,
set up ambush.
it's absurd when you tell students to bring a bottle of iPods, detergents, and soaps of all kinds.
I mean, what did they pay for? They paid tuition. They paid for all of those. Some other things. Why can't you ask them to? Are these in public schools or private schools?
Both public and private.
For private
government
schools,
statement.
for private schools, it will be ridiculous. But for public schools, let me make it abundantly clear. Look, do those schools get grants to run the schools? We should ask.
Now, another thing before we leave this, so don't you feel the Oyo State government should emulate what the Imo State government is doing as regards making the textbooks reusable?
The issue of textbooks
younger siblings.
is not acceptable when you put the workbook, you know.
But that's the practice now. That's the norm now.
It's not nice. I mean, it's not fair. It's unethical.
I'm a parent too, and I know that I always buy the same textbooks every year.
That's not nice. That's not nice. It's unethical. But I can tell you, the regulators cannot lay claim, as we speak, to be unaware. It's unethical. I mean, especially, it's even when you run through your home and you see
the same books.
That's unethical.
And you're spending a lot on these books.
Oh yes, authors, schools, and regulators. Believe you me, authors, schools, and regulators. It is between the three of them, and maybe parents and all of that. There are groups, you know, there are groups representing parents in Oyo State that I know. They should make a formal report.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can do all this talking, and unless we know where to touch, so let the parents groups do the needful.
Okay. In case you're just tuning in, you're on to From the Dailies and Solutions and 93.9 FM. Moving to another story now. This is the biggest story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. It says the National Grid faces 5.6 trillion naira revenue loss as premium customers exit. Come on, let's talk about this. I've seen people that are presently or that have been on band A opting out. saying that the charges, the bill they get, they have to pay on a monthly basis is becoming too high, and you cannot even it doesn't meet up with the quantity of electricity they are being given.
I know people who live, in Lagos, and they are on the Egbe thermal or power plant. Some don't want band A. The people in K2, none of them, most of them, they don't want band A.
Why?
But what are you going to be paying band A? Why should you be paying with the same person that lives in the VGC? You understand?
Okay.
So, that has been the issue. Somebody told me, she lives at Alakpere, she now told me that
K2
they don't even pump water with electricity. In spite of the fact when they have electricity, but they dare not pump electricity. They use their electricity to pump their water.
Why?
That the way the thing burns, that they have to use generator to buy petrol. That they don't put anything on. They sit with their TV on. I say, how on earth? How on earth? So there is a disparity when they took me, I was in an area to another band. I now called the PRO of Ibadan Disco. I said, you were on this band, you didn't supply us power. We are not complaining. You have now lifted us to another band. I said, this one, we will protest. He said, of course, they immediately, subsequently did. Because we were not complaining that you are not providing power to meet, your measurement for that band. You now just came one day and then just lifted all of us to another band. I said, no, we are not going to take that. So that's what I keep saying in this country, that people, we should organize ourselves. If we are not organized, and then who is the serious businessman? Damola, who is the serious businessman? They'll be depending on this discourse. Okay, we are using a dedicated line here. I've seen people who will go and take dedicated lines. You understand? They will go 1 to 5 kilometers away to pick from what do they call those things? The transformer from a substation. And then, in a matter of, I've spent probably 10 million, 15 million, depending on the distance. And then at the end of the day, you get to 18, you get to 18, 22, and then after 6, 7 months, the things start dropping. From 18, 16, 12, 14. Can you imagine?
But you know that one would have expected companies, manufacturing companies, broadcasting houses like this to be dependent on band A or to opt for band A because, but looking at the way the band A users are being charged, I've seen some entrepreneurs saying that they can no longer live on band A because of the charges. I mean, how many hours?
It is 229.
Yes, that it is not.
I know
it is not economically friendly to be on band A.
Yes, it is. You see, it is 229 per kilowatt per hour. But how does it burn? It is, and then your load. Your load determines some of these things. I know a very big broadcasting house, very big, in a state. In fact, government owned in another state. They had to get off it. They made an arrangement and they had to get off it.
They had to pull out of band A.
They have to pull out of that arrangement. So now they say your payment, your tariff is service reflective. You have not heard that? It is service reflective. And meaning it is a service we provide you. I know some estates in Ibadan. They are their own arrangement with the disco. It is not based on this tariff. It is paid based on that arrangement. But they must supply the power. But you see, in Ibadan, industries around and in Ibadan, nobody is on. Do you think any serious businessman will be on these things? No, none of them. They are on CNG. They are on compressed natural gas. Companies that manufacture, their manufacturing lines cannot afford any hiccup. You understand? It has to run continuously. So who is going to wait for? And sadly, what baffles me about our Minister of Power he goes around still talking about a national grid. They want to strengthen the national grid. I don't understand.
National grid faces.
I'm telling you, I can't understand. They're still talking about national grid. They want to national grid that should be disposed of and sold. And then people will now break it up into whatever they want to break it up to. That will be viable. Who does that? Who transmits power from Kainji to Lagos in a linear? And if anything happens somewhere along the line, the power drops. Who does that? Go and ask them about power. They are running efficiently. Look, that is the big one. Papa was here on my on Pendulum yesterday. Papa worked in industry. They are the ones that created, from the days of deep pure water and all of that. The man told me that the biggest challenge, that we should never be talking about unemployment in Oyo State. That Oyo State is 50 years. The man was sitting there and told me yesterday, Oyo State is 50 years ahead of Nigeria, not ahead of other states. So he said Oyo is 50 years ahead of Nigeria. That we should never be talking about unemployment. But the most critical factor is power. So, and the minister is still talking about the national grid. You see, but people are moving. Nobody is waiting for them. And then, Oyo is doing, I think, 9 point something megawatts. Oyo has it. So when all of this thing, a section of it has started functioning, supplying the whole of Secretariat and some hospitals and all of that. People are moving. What happened to, what do they call that telephone company owned by the federal government? Nitel. Yeah. Let's wait and see.
Okay, let's wait and see. Now let's talk about insecurity issues now. Army neutralizes 4 terrorists, arrest 64 suspects in nationwide operations. That's on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And on the front page of the Nation newspaper, we have it saying that troops hit terrorists in nationwide crackdown. But despite all these efforts made by the troops to curb insecurity across the nation, there is this story saying insecurity, northern leaders demand state of emergency, sack of service chiefs.
Well, it is good that northern leaders are now coming out as a group. It has been worrisome to me that northern leaders, they will allow insecurity to so fester in the whole of the north. Let's start with the northeast. It's a religion-driven thing now. Boko Haram. Boko Haram. We don't want a Western civil education. You don't want Western civilization. And you are using guns produced by Western civilization. But they are doing it forcefully to maim and kill people. And I've asked myself, how can insecurity thrive amongst the Kanuris in the northeast like that? It has local support. And anything that has support internally, locally,
it blossoms.
It blossoms. It's going to be difficult to uproot. So this is a social, economic issue that has to be addressed. It's not just about killing people and shooting guns. And then the whole thing moved to the northeast, to the northwest. And the one that is festering there is doing serious economic damage. In the northwest now, everybody's just taking gold, taking stuff under the ground. We have seen tunnels that runs kilometers underground in the northwest of Nigeria, where people are digging for.
And they've been abandoned. These tunnels are active. They are still active.
Of course, you want to tell me security agents don't know? You want to tell me the governors of those states don't know?
That such activities are thriving in
that is it.
Places.
Is it possible? Is it just possible? So it is a conspiracy. It is an elite thing now. How many AK-47s do you have? Or how many people do you know that have AK-47s? It's an elite thing, conspiracy against the Nigerian state. And so if they now decide that enough is enough, so be it.
But now calling for the sacking of service chiefs.
They didn't appoint the service chiefs. The commander-in-chief appointed them. So if he deems it fit. But I don't think it's an issue of commanders. No. It's not an issue of commanders. That's a report there that says nationwide crackdown.
Yes.
And the military is stretched. How many battlefronts are they going to? What's the number of the entire military in Nigeria currently? Not to talk of the police. And they're doing a lot of policing work around this country, the military. because the police is no longer the primary agency for internal security. The military in Ibadan, they are deployed. They are part of Operation Burst. Soldiers. So if they are deployed like that in internal security nationwide in all 36 states and federal capital, how many people are actively on duty to fight the other insurgency and banditry in other parts of the country? And then the South. You just imagine. Nigeria is a 1 million square mile territory, 1 million square kilometers. So
how can this be this issue, this problem be solved? When you say the military is being overstretched, saying that maybe we don't have enough manpower to tackle insecurity effectively.
We have an issue. We have issues of manpower, no doubt about that. We have issues of manpower, and then the problem is the biggest one is intelligence. You know, we have been talking about intelligence on here. Intelligence, failure of intelligence, and then internal sabotage. You can just they are twins.
They're twins. Yeah.
They're twins. Internal sabotage. You recall as far back as 2014, in the days of Jonathan, the American military high command was going to help Nigeria, and they discussed strategies. And one of the strategies they discussed was that they were going to gas the kidnappers, the Boko Haram kidnappers. And the next time they did a surveillance, on their location, they saw that the kidnappers were wearing gas masks. They just pulled out. Because that was sabotage from deep at the highest level. If you are not at that meeting, you couldn't have shared that information. And if you were at that meeting and you so shared the information, then that was sabotage. So those are twin brothers, sabotage and the fact that they are overstretched.
Okay, as we wrap up the program this day, let's talk about this story now. There are 2 political office holders presently on suspension, and hopefully their suspension will end. Now, starting with Rivers State, the suspended governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara. We know there were speculations since Nyesom Wike made that pronouncement days ago that come September 18, it will be reinstated. There was a report that came out yesterday that the president has ordered IBAS, the sole administrator of Rivers State, to submit more like handing over report thing. So let's say that Wike was right, and another person now, Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan, the suspended senator, on the front page of Punch newspaper, Natasha to resume Senate after London trip, our lawyer said. Now, do you see any issue or any kind of a brouhaha if when Natasha decides to resume later this month?
Well, the Senate issued
but the Senate has been on recess, and I think they are resuming this month. Also.
Well,
and you remember Natasha said that if they didn't allow her to come in when she said she was coming in, by the time they come back from their recess, our suspension time
will have
lapsed. So, do you see the Senate obstructing our resumption again?
It isn't impossible.
It isn't impossible.
No, it isn't impossible. I would not go put anything past the Senate president, and I wouldn't put anything past him. But I hope common sense and civility will prevail, and they will allow the lady to work for the interest of the people that elected her. But if they choose to push and say the matter is still in court, and the court has to determine some things, well, then we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see.
Believe you me.
What about IBAS?
Well,
as we wrap up,
Emperor Wike made the pronouncement, and it is coming to be true. And IBAS is to pack his stuff and let the elected governor come back. And
the elected governor that many Rivers people are now seeing to be more of a puppet.
Well,
will become a puppet in the hands of the puppeteers.
He started
because his structure has completely been destroyed. Wiki has taken over the entire.
What structure did the man have?
Did you see the pictures?
The man didn't have any.
Did you see some of the pictures that went viral on Friday when the newly elected local government councillors and everything were being sworn in? Did you see them with different caps? With this this Bola Ahmed Tinubu signature,
the broken chain.
Did you see the pictures of some of these people? You could see that some of them were being forced to put on those caps, oversized caps. I mean, Wike is really delivering for Tinubu in Rivers State.
You should think about the sustainability of what.
Did you see the pictures?
I did.
Okay.
And did you see Wike and what is this guy, Fubara, in similar outfits? You didn't see that?
I didn't see that.
I sent it to you. The whole thing is, who are the puppets? I think they are the puppeteers and Nigerians are the puppets.
Are you serious?
Look, I mean, we talked about the elite now. They have the Nigerian state. They have been appropriated.
Okay, September 18 is how many days from now?
September 18, today is 8th.
Today is 8th, okay.
So just 10 days
from now, okay.
And then they will be holding Thanksgiving, they will be holding the kings, and all of them will come visiting again, and the man will feel good, and business as usual will go on. If
you eventually hear that Fubara defects to the APC, will it come to you as a surprise?
Has it not defected?
Okay. I just wanted you to say that. Well, thank you very much, Comrade.
I just asked. It was rhetorical.
Well, it was rhetorical. Thank you very much, Comrade. But let's keep our fingers crossed whether it's going to defect. With the look of things now, everything under the control of APC in that state. Okay, thank you once again, Comrade.
Thank you. It's a pleasure always riding with you on this platform.
Wishing you a very fruitful week.
You too.
Okay, that's the wrap for today. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for a fresh edition from the Dailies on your number one radio dial, Solutions at 93, the 9 FM. My name is Ade Damola Lafewa. Do have a very fruitful week. Good morning.
The views and opinions expressed in this live broadcast are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the editorial policy of Solutions 93.9 FM.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Unstoppable you, fueling your vitality the whole day through. Embrace each challenge with renewed might. With Super Ultra Performance takes flight.
With 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, one Supermalt multivitamin after breakfast every day keeps you going.
Supermalt, unstoppable you.
I am Malario, the king of malaria parasites. My mission is simple: to take over your body, to cause fever, chills, headache. But one thing stands in my way. Come on.
Effective relief from malaria. Comal on, malaria gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult doctor.
Hey! Ready energy day, ready sound day, ready news day, ready sport day, ready cut the day. Hey! Now yeah, because you know the turn. We know the turn. change in 100. 93.9 to our okay.
93.9, your remedy dial. Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
ọ̀kan ṣoṣo làjànàkú tí fi ń mi gbó kìjikìji ìkànnì Solutions 93.9 FM lárabà láàrin àwọn ìkànnì yòókù gbọ́ bó ṣe